Hey everyone, this is not a typical video about the new state's gameplay. It's something different, and with this video, I want to talk about the downfall of PUBG New State. A small tip, you can watch this at 125x or 1.5x speed for a better experience. Before we begin, I want to make it clear that this video contains a mix of facts and my own personal opinions. While I'll be sharing information based on reports and real events, some parts reflect my perspective as a gamer. So, please take it as both an informative and opinion-based discussion. Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments, as everyone's perspective can be different. In 2021, Krafton dropped a bombshell. PUBG New State, a futuristic battle royale set in 2051. New map, drones, sleek vehicles, and jaw-dropping visuals blew mobile gaming away. Initial alpha test thrilled US players with the new Troy map, smooth gunplay, and unreal visuals.
This is my first game, and we'll see how we do here.
We're experiencing the first ever jump-in.
Oh! Ella, why are you in the way, bro? Oh, this is a bad idea. Oh, you ran me over, you trash bag.
Then the second alpha test hit 28 regions, proving New State was the future of PUBG. The hype was insane. The launch trailer outshined PUBG Mobile and PUBG PC trailers, racking up more views. Fans and creators called it the next big thing. New State didn't just spark excitement, it set the VR world on fire. But now, the developers gave up on this game, and now it is dying slowly. Why did that happen? Let's find out. When PUBG New State launched, it was the closest thing to PUBG PC on mobile. The movement and physics were slow, realistic, and tactical, just like the original Battlegrounds.
모바일이 캐주얼한 모드의 장점이 있다면 뉴스테이트는 현실적이고 시리어스한 컨텐츠가 장점이 될 것입니다. 서로의 장점과 색깔이 이렇게 분명하기 때문에 시장에서는 공존이 충분히 가능할 것이라 생각하고 카니발라이제이션을 크게 걱정하고 있지는 않습니다.
But then, many PUBG Mobile and BGMI players started complaining. They didn't like the slow movement because they wanted the game to feel exactly like PUBG Mobile. And here came the biggest mistake. The developers listened to the wrong audience. They changed the game's physics by making the movement faster. They did that just to please PUBG Mobile players. But this game was never meant to replace PUBG Mobile. Instead of building its own core audience, New State shifted its mindset to attract PUBG Mobile players, and in the process, it lost its true identity. During the alpha test, PUBG New State looked amazing. The graphics were sharp, realistic, and gave players hope that this would finally be the true PUBG PC experience on mobile. But after launch, things changed. The graphics were downgraded, the details were lost, and the game no longer looked like what was first promised. For many players, this was the first big disappointment, because the game they got was very different from the game they were shown. Later, they even made the Troy map more colorful. Because PUBG Mobile players wanted the game to look more colorful like PUBG Mobile than PUBG PC. Which again concludes that the developers listened to the wrong audience. There are many players asking devs to bring back alpha-style details and textures to New State even now. I personally felt that the name PUBG New State was like a true part of the PUBG universe. The name had some weight due to the connection with original PUBG. But later, the name was changed to New State Mobile. And with that, the game slowly lost its identity. It no longer felt like the original PUBG, but just another mobile title. And then came the bigger hit. The game was fully removed from the PUBG universe. What I really loved about New State was the lore, the characters, the factions like New State, Dream Runner, GLC, and more. the story events, and all the mystery around them. These things made the game feel alive and different. But without the PUBG connection and without that story focus, the soul of the game was lost. Another reason for the game's downfall was the addition of new modes like the Bounty Royale and the new Jetta map. Introducing Jetta was like putting the nail in the coffin. It was an arcade mode with jetpacks, similar to Fallout 84. While fun, it didn't belong in New State, which was supposed to feel like PUBG PC. Instead, the devs once again tried to attract players from other games, just like they did earlier with PUBG Mobile, repeating the same mistake. Bounty Royale, on the other hand, was closer to PUBG's original gameplay and had potential. But the problem was the divided player base. With players split between Battle Royale and Bounty Royale, both modes suffered from low matchmaking numbers. This game already had low player base at launch due to many issues which I will discuss further in this video. One of the biggest problems with PUBG New State was its performance. The graphics looked blurry with low resolution and textures. The game often lagged and many devices overheated while playing. On top of that, there were constant bugs and glitches that ruined the experience. Even though the devs tried to fix some of these issues, the damage was already done. And even today, major bugs like mic problems for many iOS users, throwable trajectory glitches, gun audio direction glitches, and many more are still in the game. For most players, New State never felt stable, and that played a huge role in its downfall. But performance wasn't the only issue. Another big problem was the lack of communication from the developers. The official Twitter handle went almost inactive just 6 months after launch, right when players were complaining the most. Even the email support wasn't helpful, which left many frustrated. The devs did listen at times, but fixes came too slowly and never on time. Some bugs have been sitting in the game for over a year without being fixed. This poor communication and slow response made players lose trust, and in the end, it pushed even more people away from the game. Another major reason for the downfall of New State was a lack of proper marketing and esports support. When the game was first released, it had huge potential, but the marketing was very weak. Instead of creating ad campaigns or showing what made New State unique, the devs mostly relied on a few content creators and PUBG mobile streamers to promote the game. This created hype only for a short time, but it wasn't enough to build a strong global audience. A game that was supposed to feel like the future of PUBG needed much bigger promotion. Esports was another area where New State completely failed. At the start, the game introduced a few small tournaments, but they never gained much traction. Viewership was low because the player base itself was shrinking. On top of that, the game was full of bugs, glitches, lag, and other performance issues which made competitive play nearly impossible. Because of this, tournaments were limited, and later they were stopped completely. This was a huge missed opportunity, because PUBG as a franchise is known for its competitive scene. If New State had stable gameplay, strong marketing, and a serious esports plan, it could have attracted both casual players and competitive players. But without those things, the game quickly lost its chance to grow, and esports, which could have kept it alive, completely disappeared. Another huge problem that ruined New State was hackers. The game struggled with cheaters, and instead of getting better, the problem only grew worse over time. Hackers were everywhere, using aim hacks, wall hack, ESP, speed hack, making it almost impossible for normal players to enjoy the game. This problem was at its worst during Ace League, the ranked tournament mode where players were supposed to compete at the highest level. Instead of being a fair battleground for the best players, it turned into a playground for hackers. Many players worked hard to grind their rank, only to get destroyed by cheaters who had unfair advantages. This killed the competitive spirit of the game and drove away serious players. And the funny, or rather sad, part is how the punishment system worked. Most hackers only got banned for 3 days. 3 days. That meant they could easily come back with the same account or create a new one and continue ruining matches. For a game that wanted to compete in esports and provide a fair competitive experience, this was unacceptable. Because of poor anti-cheat measures and weak punishments, hackers spread everywhere, and many legit players simply gave up. Instead of fixing the root cause, the devs let the problem grow. And that became one of the biggest reasons players lost trust in PUBG New State. In the end, I feel like many of New State's problems came from internal management issues. After launch, there were rumors that some devs left the project, some moved to other Krafton games, and others may have even been laid off due to COVID. This caused a shortage of staff, which made it harder to fix bugs, improve the game, or deliver the content players were waiting for. Slowly, the game started to feel abandoned. It's sad, because New State had so much potential. It had the vision to be the next step in the PUBG universe. A game with its own identity, lore, and future. But without strong management, proper support from both management and the community, that dream never came true. Players who believed in it were left disappointed, and what could have been something great was slowly lost. Now, the big question is, what will happen to New State? Can it make a comeback, or will it slowly fade away and die? Honestly, looking at how things have been handled, the chances of a comeback feel very slim. But at the same time, the PUBG franchise has always surprised us before. Maybe one day Krafton will revive New State or rebuild it into something fresh. Until then, all we can do is remember what it could have been. The game that once promised to be the future of PUBG. Maybe one day it will return. But for now, this is the story of a game that never reached its full potential. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, then do leave a like. If you have any other reason for New State's downfall, please feel free to write in comments. If you want me to make a video about how to make this game better, then do let me know. Thank you for watching and see you next time.